In 1953, a family in California sold their horse farm and moved to Oklahoma, 1,400 miles away. They accidentally left behind their cat, Sugar. 14 months later, Sugar walked through their door in Oklahoma. Could it really be Sugar? After all this time and all those miles? The family was in shock. It took confirmation from their former neighbor to believe the impossible. The family's neighbor had to confirm it. The cat had a deformed hip bone. It was unmistakable. Sugar had crossed the continent, alone, without a map, without GPS, and scientists still can't fully explain how. How is this possible? What does a cat have that we don't? Scientists call it side-trailing, and for decades, it looked a lot like magic. What we found when we finally looked closer is even stranger. Your modern house cat is a creature of intense leisure, governed by millions of years of evolutionary programming designed to conserve energy. They spend up to 20 hours a day doing absolutely nothing but sleeping. When they are awake, their behaviors can seem entirely unrefined. They swallow dry edible in large chunks without chewing, and when you call their name, they make a conscious, calculated choice to ignore you. But underneath that simple exterior is a deeply complex neurological system.
Research from Queen's University Belfast shows that
Cats exhibit strict right or left paw dominance, a physical trait directly linked to hormonal balance and how their brain hemispheres develop. This neurological complexity creates a central anomaly. On one hand, you have an animal that spends most of its life napping in a sunbeam. On the other, we have thousands of verified, documented stories of lost house cats crossing hundreds of miles of unknown territory to arrive at their front doors months later. How does an animal whose entire daily routine covers a space the size of an apartment suddenly navigate across state lines? Simple memory or pure luck cannot account for a 200-mile journey through a landscape they have never seen to solve this homing mystery. We have to stop looking at the cat as a lazy pet. So let's reverse engineer this. Think of it like a detective case. The cat has 5 senses and 1 hidden superpower. We're going to put each of them on the stand. Most won't survive cross-examination, but 1 will, and it will change how you see your cat forever. Suspect 1, the brain itself. Cat brains are lateralized. The 2 hemispheres are specialized. But here's what's interesting for our case. The right hemisphere dominates spatial navigation, and cats' brains are disproportionately large in the regions controlling spatial memory. Their internal map is quite literally bigger than ours. Looking at this side-by-side skeletal comparison, you can see a human adult has 206 bones, while a cat has around 230. Most of that extra framework is packed directly into their highly extended spine and tail. That flexible structure stores kinetic energy like a tightly coiled spring. It allows a cat to leap straight up, reaching 5 to 6 times its own height from a complete standstill without needing a running start. Those catapult-like hind legs also generate explosive forward momentum. A domestic cat can hit 30 miles per hour over short distances, outpacing the 27-mile-per-hour peak speed of Usain Bolt. They achieve this by operating entirely in an anaerobic mode for quick, highly demanding bursts of speed. Raw kinetic power requires precise spatial control. Tucked inside the inner ear is the vestibular system, a complex network that instantly detects gravitational pull and spatial orientation. When a cat falls, this system triggers a righting reflex in fractions of a second. First, the head rotates to find the horizon. Then the front half of the body follows. And finally, the flexible spine twists the back legs into position to absorb the impact. A cat's brain is constantly calculating its exact position in 3-dimensional space at speeds that outpace human perception. This mastery over physics and gravity forms the baseline kinetic requirement for any global navigation. That physical framework relies on specialized environmental sensors to gather data. A cat's vertical slit pupils exist specifically to calculate precise close-range distances when sizing up a leap from ambush. This cross-section of the feline eye reveals a specialized layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum. It acts as a mirror. Any light that passes through the retina bounces off this membrane, giving the photoreceptors a second chance to catch missed photons, which doubles the amount of light the eye processes in the dark. Visual data is paired with an incredibly dense olfactory system.
This is why cats are most active at dawn and dusk. It may not just be prey behavior. Those are the two moments when the sun's angle provides the sharpest directional data. When cats sit in a window and stare at the light for hours, they may be doing something closer to celestial navigation than relaxation. The network of tiny ridges and lines on a cat's nose is a completely unique biometric identifier. Operating exactly like a human fingerprint, processing this massive influx of visual, spatial, and scent data requires intense, continuous brain activity. Studies conducted by researchers at MIT found that a cat's brain remains highly active even when they are asleep. When you see a cat twitching its paws or moving its whiskers, during REM sleep, its brain is actively replaying and mapping out the complex sensory data it gathered during its waking hours. They are continuous data-gathering machines. They constantly track light distance and microscopic environmental changes to build an incredibly detailed local map, even while their eyes are closed. Physical agility and detailed? Local maps work perfectly for catching a mouse in the backyard, but those skills are completely useless for navigating hundreds of miles of unfamiliar territory without a macro navigation system to guide them. Magnetoreception acts as a compass. Magnetite brain cells align to Earth's magnetic field, and all statutory map uses 200 million. Receptors to track soil and water following scent gradients home. A solar compass cross-references the sun's angle with their internal clock for accurate headings. By seamlessly combining the Earth's magnetic field, a dense gradient of smells, and a solar clock, the feline brain runs a redundant 3-tier GPS system. Rivals modern human technology, it can be difficult to reconcile this immense capability with a house pet that occasionally gets confused between the hallway and the living room. Yet the exact same multi-layered global navigation hardware used to cross 200 miles of rugged wilderness is currently running inside the seemingly oblivious animal sleeping on your couch. That system simply rarely needs to activate in full force because her target destination, the food bowl, is usually only 6 feet away. We should never underestimate feline instinct. Underneath that lazy, domesticated exterior is a master navigator, physically and biologically tied to the magnetic and solar forces of the planet. We spent $5 billion building GPS. We launched 31 satellites into orbit. We wrote millions of lines of code. Your cat has had a better version running in its skull since before humans discovered fire. The next time your cat disappears for 3 days and saunters back in looking completely unbothered, maybe offer some food and a little more respect. One last thing. If your cat has ever disappeared and come back, drop the story in the comments. How long they were gone, how far they traveled, whether they looked guilty or completely unbothered when they walked through the door. I have a feeling this comment section is going to be something special. And if this video made you look at your cat a little differently tonight, subscribe. We do this every week. New mystery, new rabbit hole, same obsessive need to explain things that were probably fine left unexplained. See you in the next one.